Here we go, guys. Great. Good. Great.
So we're here at the Tribeca Film Festival speaking with
Breland, what's going on?
Nice to meet you. Tell me a little about the project that's in the festival this year.
Yeah, I am seeing it for the first time, but in having some conversations and in the parts that I filmed, I do know what the film is about. It's called Rebel Country, and it kind of highlights the stories of some artists that sit on the kind of somewhat on the periphery of how people would normally think about country music and are helping to push the genre forward in different ways.
Interesting. So your style of music, it has a lot of different aspects to it. You have gospel, you have country music, you have a lot of different things that are added into it. How did you get that flavor when you were coming together to understand who you are as an artist?
Yeah, man, I just love music in general, and I started out writing songs for a lot of different artists. Had to kind of form some skills of learning how to write across a lot of different genres, and when I discovered country music and realizing that I might have a place in it, I wanted to be able to bring some of those genres that I had kind of grown up listening to, like gospel, and genres that I had had some success writing in. So my style is just kind of a product of everything that I love to listen to, which includes country, and I think makes for a really interesting fusion.
If you could describe country, how would you describe what country music is in your own words?
To me, country music is a genre for storytellers to tell stories, and I think every artist in this film does that in a really unique and powerful way. It's something that I strive to do, and not to say that every story has to be super personal and super real. Sometimes the purpose of a song is just to make somebody smile or make them want to get up and dance. And I think those stories are valid as well, but country music is a place that can really house all of those things. And I think this film helps kind of reframe how people would approach country music as a viewer and as a listener.
Speaking with
Francis Waitley.
Nice to meet you, Francis. So you are the director of the film that's premiering at the festival. What was it like to direct this project?
It was wonderful. It was wonderful because you're dealing with people from the South. And I always like coming to America, but when you come to the South, you meet a different breed of people, and they are so courteous and so beautiful and so polite and just so articulate. And they're all great stars, these people. They're all amazing.
It's nothing like Southern hospitality. That is absolutely.
There's nothing like Southern hospitality, yeah. They're more like the English. They're incredibly polite.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you get connected with the subject matter? Obviously coming from England and now moving to the South.
Yeah, I'm an outsider to this. So I made a film about Dolly Parton with Dolly Parton a few years ago. And then because of that, and it was on Netflix, because of that I was invited to do this film. And I was given the title of Rebel Country.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that could possibly mean.
Yeah.
But then I thought, okay, well, let's make it into a different kind of film. Let's make it about modern rebels. And the modern rebels, unfortunately, are not the hard-drinking, womanizing rebels of old.
Right.
Nowadays, you're a rebel if you don't fit into a very small conservative box set up by the establishment of country music in Tennessee.
Yeah. Where did you find the compilation of artists that we've spoken to people from all across the spectrum with such interesting groupings of their style of music? How'd you get everybody together?
That is a tough one. I had an amazing team, and we just collected a group. So we had an old-style rebel in Jelly Roll, and an old-style rebel in Away with Lainey Wilson. But then I wanted to mix it up, and then Blanco and Breland, and Frank Ray and Brooke Eden here and Lindsay Ell. They're just all different. So I wanted that complete mix.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's a treat for people that are going to go and see it. If you can describe this film in your own words to audiences, to give them a little preview, how would you describe it in your own words?
Oh, I think it's a film about a revolution. It's a film about a revolution that is happening now in country music, but I think it's about 100 years too late. This should have happened a long time ago, and we shouldn't really be discussing the people in my film as rebels. They're just musicians, and we should be celebrating them for being musicians rather than rebels. But there we go. This is where we are now, and let's hope things change.
It's an honor to be a part of a documentary like Rebel Country, specifically highlighting why country music is so special. It is such a wide tent, and it welcomes so many different artists into the genre. You listen to country radio and you sometimes think it's a narrow lane, but when you really look at the country music family, it has a lot of outcasts, a lot of outliers that really are still a part of the genre, which this film is all about. So when Francis asked me to be a part, I was like, I would be honored to be a part of this story. And it's amazing just getting to hear, Jelly and Lainey all talk about how their journey has unfolded. And as the rebels of country music, often our journey is not linear. It's not straight. We have to kind of go around the back way and the long way and the high road to kind of get to where we want to go. And I think that's what makes us rebels.
Sure. So where do you feel like the state of country music is now? What kind of messages are artists trying to showcase to audiences?
I think the state of country music is as progressive as it has ever been. You know, I think that there is sort of anything is up for grabs on the table, and that's what I love about country music. Country music has always been about the song and about the story and about the message of what a songwriter wants to communicate, and so I love that is still the focus. It's almost like the requirements of being a country song is it has to say something.
Of course.
But now, you know, who you are, where you're from, what you want to say, I think almost anything is on the table, which is really exciting as a genre.
Yeah. There's also some other exciting news. You are going to be a lead guitarist for Miss Shania Twain coming up soon, is that correct?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Shania was the reason why I started singing when I was a little girl, and so now to be playing guitar for her this year, it feels wild. We're just about to head to Europe to play Glastonbury and Hyde Park, and have been playing some shows in Vegas, so it's been a wild year for sure.
Well, speaking with
Blanco Brown.
Nice to meet you, sir. Tell me a little bit about your role in Rebel Country.
I haven't even watched the film yet. I'm about to be shocked myself, so I hope I look good.
Well, right now you definitely look fresh. I see the chains. I see that you have the peace signs going on. So
Peace and trap, but they peace symbols within a skull. Stands for structure. If you get your mind right and you have structure, you can conquer anything in this world. Purpose.
So you're telling your art on your body as well as your words in your music. So tell me a little bit about your music that you put together.
Music, country music meets trap music. I bridge the gap. Trailer trap. It's essentially country music with 808s, hi-hats, snares, the whole nine. And I just have fun doing what I love to do. I try not to fit in nobody's box. Music is too big.
How did you put together this style when you first started discovering it? What aspects did you see from one and the other to blend it to make it?
Well, I was in the studio playing traditional country songs, and people were saying, man, this jamming, but who gonna listen to it? I said, listen, I figured out. And over a little while, I started adding 808s and the whole nine, and everybody was jamming in the studio. That's when I knew I had it.
Is it something about where you grew up and where you came from that gave you that give a shout out?
Definitely where I came from. I'm from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia. In the summertime, I spent my time in Butler, Georgia, Macon, Griffin, Buena Vista, the whole nine, sitting on generators, traveling to propane tanks. That's the Blanco Brown way.
Where can people go to find out more about your music and listen to what you got to say?
At Blanco Brown.
All right, there it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed the premiere, and thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you for having me. Blessings.
I am a queer country artist, and when I first met my wife, I was told that if I wanted to keep my career, I couldn't come out of the closet. And so I think, you know, being a part of the LGBTQ community and being a part of the out LGBTQ community in country music is kind of my role in this documentary, in this film. And just, you know, being some representation for a demographic of people who love country music, who haven't been able to see themselves in country music for a really long time.
So when you started singing and creating your style of music, what inspired you to sing the songs you sing and to write the lyrics that you sing?
Yeah, life. I've been through a lot of life. A really long journey to get to this point, and my real life experience is what inspires all of my music. I grew up singing with my dad in the honky tonks in Florida. He's a drummer in a country band, and so I started singing with him when I was 5, so it's pretty much all I've ever known. So when I started, you know, writing songs and writing country music, I kind of came from that place.
So I know country music, when I think of that, I think of the Grand Ole Opry, one of the best places that's in the South. What was that experience when you went in there for the first time and really felt like you were in like the holy grail of country music?
Yeah, well, I remember when I got that first call to have my Grand Ole Opry debut. I think I've been there 27 times now. But I remember when I got that first call and I was just bawling. Like I couldn't even, when I called my mom to tell her, she thought someone had died because I was just so excited and I couldn't contain my emotions, but it's one of my favorite places to get to sing. I've had so many incredible experiences there, especially with other country music icons that I've looked up to my whole life, and Grand Ole Opry is a very special place for me.
It's a special place. I love to go and check it out, as well as the Ryman and everything Nashville, which is just a wonderful place to be.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the Opry goes to the Ryman during Christmas time, like during the winter seasons, and so my specific Opry debut was actually at the Ryman.
Oh.
So I had my Opry debut and my Ryman debut on the same night. So I don't get nervous that often, but that night I was shaking in my boots.
Speaking with
Frank Ray.
Nice to meet you, Frank. Tell me a little bit about about your role on the film that's here in the festival this year.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Just your role on the project that's here at the festival.
Oh, good. Well, I'm a role in the film Rebel Country, and I think my story kind of focuses more on the Latin culture and how those influences have always been a part of country music, and how they're just now starting to resurface, and how artists like myself are representing, in this new era that we're in. And this film definitely tells a very necessary story, and you can see it in the changes that country music is going through currently.
Okay. How do you fuse the Latin culture in with country music? What kind of sound does that create, and how would you define yourself as an artist?
Oh yeah. Well, listen, I think defining myself as an artist is difficult to answer, because I think the music speaks for itself. I think when I'm trying to introduce the Latin culture into country music, it's a different vibe, right? Whether it's in the form of instrumentation, so whether it's percussion, there's different rhythmic, there's different modulations that happen, guitarrones, gut string guitars, different stuff like that. But to be quite honest with you, Mexican influence has been a part of country music since its origins. So I'm not necessarily doing something that hasn't been done. It just hasn't been represented since the better part of the mid-90s, So it's important now that the momentum that we've gained, we continue to build upon that, and that we're not just another flavor of the week, and another 20 or 30 years goes by before there's another artist that surfaces to represent. I think we need to continue to keep the ball moving, keep the momentum moving forward, and that's I feel like my role in the genre right now.